Live.
I make the motion to return from executive session.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yes.
Anto?
So next we have on the agenda is approval of minutes. Looks like we don't have any to approve this evening. So that takes us to our maintenance report. Mr. Cowan.
Thank you.
There are minutes.
Oh, there are? You want anything in the template?
They're in the packet.
July 1st.
Yep.
Yep.
What page is the resolution?
You can just make one up.
Okay. Well, it's not in there.
It's not a template.
I don't see it. That's why I didn't think.
Yeah, they were in the packet that we received.
It says approval of minutes, but there's no resolution.
Just make either make
Approval. What's the date for the minutes?
July 1st. Do you want to read them first?
No, I don't have any questions. Do you have any change?
Did you read them? I have nothing.
I make the motion to approve the trustee meeting July 1st, 2019 minutes.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing for zoning, right?
No.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry about that. Maintenance report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Couple items, read through what I have, if you don't mind. Asking for your consideration and approval of a then and now purchase order for Mohawk Resources Limited. A lift was purchased for the mechanic shop, and this lift was split with the fire department, so this is pay our maintenance department half. The next item is requesting your approval for the issuance of a then and now purchase order to Dunn Robin Associates LLC. This is for their appraisal and right-of-way work on the East Orange Road Phase 2 project. The third item I have on the maintenance report is in regards to Ohio Public Works project number CQ06W. I'm asking that you consider tabling this item for this evening until you get further clarification on two items that are in the agreement. Do you have any questions about that? I did notice, Mr. Chairman, with the purchase order request form, I do have resolutions with that. I can see them on the list here, on the agenda list.
It's got resolution for Mohawk and for Robin. They're in there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep.
All right, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's covered. Do you have any questions?
I have none.
I make a motion to authorize the issuance of a then and now purchase order to Mohawk Resources Ltd. in the amount of $17,927.27 for equipment lift.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
I make the motion to authorize the issuance of a then and now purchase order to Dunn Robin Associates LLC in the amount of $13,245 for right-of-way acquisition East Orange Road Phase 2.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
We tabled the last one. So that takes us to park report.
Thank you again. Appreciate your favorable consideration for those two items. One I have for parks, both of the requests are the same item. One is the issuance of a purchase order to Court Name Engineering, amount of $3,200. And the second is allowing the Director of Operations to sign the agreement for the name. The agreement, I believe, is with your packet. And I think all received the colored photograph showing the to. The easements are on North Road. The Lewis Center North Road Trail is complete. We'll have trail all the way to Shanahan except for these three small pieces. Two of the property owners looking favorably at signing. We haven't approached the project, but we intend to do this. Hopefully we'll connect this trail.
Wonderful.
That's great.
I make a motion to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Corda Namath Engineering in the amount of $3,200 for multi-trail right-of-way legal description for 3 locations along North Road.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve Director of Operations to sign Corda Namath Engineering task number 2019-5 agreement.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Thank you for that. One more quick item. I know we've been having some issues with our ponds and algae. Talking to Mr. Bogar and Aaron James, our maintenance superintendent. They agreed to make some phone calls. I called a gentleman at the Ohio State University today. He's the program director for aquatics and ecosystems at Ohio State University. We set up a meeting date next Tuesday to come out and visit each pond. Hopefully we'll do some initial assessments of those.
Which ponds? Which ponds? All of the ponds?
Okay. We're gonna visit all.
Oh, okay. Great, that's good, because we've been getting so many complaints about those recently. I mean, so many residents have been reaching out to me and I've seen it on social media, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're contracting with a management company, and he said, they're very reputable group that we have, so they know their stuff. It's been an unusual season with all the rain, chemicals coming in the water.
And then you and I discussed a regular inspection schedule so that rather than being reactive and having residents upset that they look bad, you're going to come up with a way that you or Aaron will inspect them periodically to make sure you catch any issues before they go too far. Because there's like a pump that was out, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So we talked about that too this morning, about just one regular drive.
Yeah. And that way we don't have to rely on residents.
Is there any unique challenges to the ponds or anything that's
I don't know.
tough to keep up with?
Some of our discussions have been brief, but subject to just the depth of the pond, extremely shallow, which allows for extra growth shallow.
But then when a pump fails, that messes it up, correct? When a pump fails,
Yeah, circulating that water is very important too.
yeah, that probably caused a lot of the problem.
I know there's a pond up in neighborhood I'm in. The depth is an issue, and we do our best to keep up with it, but it's just one of those that's very challenging.
Nobody likes it.
Yeah, but with the township, I mean, the residents expect us to keep it up, so to maintain it well.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Chief Noble, Public Safety Report.
Good evening. The first item is to accept the gift card donation. Amy Gavin, opened, I believe she's opened a new dental office in the first solid station. Dropped off a gift card to approve for ice cream, so we got approved by the board so that they can use it.
I make a motion to accept a donation in the form of a gift card for $5.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes?
Item number 2, it's outdated equipment that we need to dispose of. This equipment can be replaced with newer technology.
I make adoption of the following resolution, whereas the township has certain used property which has no value, is not needed for public use, is obsolete, or is unfit for the use for which it was acquired. Now therefore be it resolved, the property listed in Exhibit A of this resolution, incorporated herein by reference, as if fully repeated, is found to be not needed for public use, is obsolete, or is unfit for the use for which it was acquired, and to have no value. Be it further resolved that such property shall be discarded or salvaged, and Fire Chief Noble or his designee shall oversee its disposal.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes?
Items 3 and 4 go together. As you recall, 2 meetings ago, I accepted the resignation, regretfully accepted the resignation of full-time firefighter Kevin McDowell. Would like to hire Shishi to replace him. So we need to hire Mr. Shuey. as a full-time firefighter paramedic, and then accept his resignation as a part-time firefighter.
Make the adoption of the following resolution. Be it resolved that Shay Schutte is appointed to non-exempt full-time bargaining unit position of firefighter paramedic effective July 17th, 2019. Be it further resolved that this appointment is probationary in accordance with section 4.1 of the current collective bargaining agreement between the township and the Orange Township Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 3816. Be it further resolved that during this probationary period, the compensation for this position shall be as provided for a probationary firefighter paramedic in the current collective bargaining agreement between the township and the Orange Township Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 3816, with paychecks to be issued based on a 14-day pay period. Be it further resolved that the probationary period is successfully completed, the compensation for this position shall be as provided for a firefighter paramedic in the current collective bargaining agreement between the township and the Orange Township Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 3816, with paychecks to be issued based on a 14-day period. Be it further resolved, the compensation for this position shall also include the standard employee benefits package provided for all full-time union personnel and resolutions of the Board of Township Trustees and/or the current collective bargaining agreement between Orange Township and the Orange Township Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 3816. Be it further resolved that this appointment is contingent upon the satisfactory completion by Shay Schutte of a drug screen, physical examination, background investigation, and practical assessment.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yes.
I make the motion to accept the resignation of firefighter EMT Shay Schutte effective
Part-time.
Accept the resignation of part-time firefighter EMT Shay Schutte effective July 16th, 2019.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Knapp?
Yes.
Thank you. The final item is basically updating the fire department permit fee schedule to add the fees for the mechanic so that we can begin utilizing him on outside townships and other entities. Currently working with the prosecutor's office on establishing an agreement, but we need to get the fee schedule approved. My apologies, this was on the last trustee meeting, I was unable to attend. And I can tell you that we've been in discussion with various townships who are very interested in utilizing us on full time. And we've had no issues.
Where's that in the,
I'm sorry.
where's that in the schedule?
It's the last items, they were highlighted, I don't know if you can feel the copy or not, but if you go to the second page, it's under item fees, item 59 through 67.
Yeah, it wasn't highlighted. Okay. So $85 an hour.
I think it came through very light brown, maybe not the copy.
Not the template, yeah.
Yes, 85 an hour, and then if there are various shop fees associated, then it would be a one-time charge for a shop fee. So if it was well in that, you know, parts and wire ties, things like that, would be minimal charge to help cover the costs of those supplies.
What is the normal going rate for that kind of work at a shop?
As a mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
much higher than 85. You're talking in some cases over $100 an hour for a mechanic. What we did here was we looked at what it costs us to have our mechanic employed, taking into account insurances, things like that, plus overtime rate, and that's where we established this rate.
How much does he make an hour again? Is that 32 or no 30 or 82,000 a year or something?
Yes, that's correct. 35, I believe, and that was after he gained 2 more certifications that was required on his employee.
Chief, if I could interject that I have the pleasure of sitting in one of the other communities that we met with to discuss this opportunity for them. And they thought that fee was very reasonable, and they said that they had no issue with that. This also offers those other communities just another choice in their menu sheet. Doesn't necessarily look to capture all the business, because primarily we want our stuff taken care of. We don't want to become repair poor on our side for making everybody else repair rich. So we have to keep that in mind. But by the same token, the other communities saw that hourly rate as not being a hurdle in any.
Oh, well, yeah, well, that wasn't my concern. My concern was that we were covering the cost of the employees. So
Absolutely.
he makes, like, how much does he make a year?
I believe it
85,000?
is, yeah.
So that's about $41 an hour plus benefits and vacation and sick.
All that, and we came up with
85 just covers it, or does it allow any,
No, it's,
how much more above?
I have to do that. Sorry, if I know that you were going to ask, I would have provided email all this out to you guys. It's considerably above, Mayor, we just.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're making a decision on charging other entities, we should definitely make sure that we're covering our costs, and the trustees should know what those costs are.
So right now, just base hourly, 86 an hour. And then with that in, animal insurance, and, AWC is a little over $1, 100, I believe.
It's what? I'm sorry?
I believe it's a little over $1, $1, $100, $1,000 salary, for an employee, per year. And you add in the health insurance and benefits, utility costs, things like that, and then you look at the overtime rate, and you're charging 85 an hour, you're easily $25 above all that added together.
So for individual insurance, how much is it a month? Like 1,200 or something?
Our current rates for an employee above is 1,200, 1,300.
And they pay 30%, right?
That's after you've taken out what their deductible is, what they're covering. So.
Wait, that's after their 10% or 15%? They pay that 1,200.
So you pay that times, 12,
Mm-hmm.
and divide that again by their hours, 28.
Okay. So $7 an hour.
So then you add that to the 40, and then, EWC's very low around 40. Again, we're well above.
By the same token, I don't think the township's giving away the farm.
That's what I want to make sure, and that's our job to make sure, because we took quite a risk on hiring this person.
This is the fine line that I believe we have to walk.
Mhm.
We're not giving away the farm, but yet we also don't want to market this so far out there that, we have our area neighbors that, feel that we're not even in competition with other,
Yeah.
other vendors out there. I can assure you, our southern vendors, our northern vendors, they're over $100 an hour.
Mhm.
Plus the travel time involved with that, people have to take it.
Right. I just want to make sure that, yeah. I mean, yeah, I just wanted to know the rationale because I wanted to make sure that encompassed everything, both the competitive going rate and also the per hour, including all the many benefits our firefighters receive.
And I agree with that. That's why this number we're running to you felt pretty solid.
Yeah. But I have to ask the question because that's what I was elected to do. Okay.
I appreciate that. I think too, being a public entity and not a private company, we have to look for the dollars and cents and not price it so far.
I'm fine with that then.
Thank you.
I make a motion to accept the fire permit fee schedule shown in Exhibit A.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
And I believe that that's all I have on my agenda.
Thank you, Chief.
And I don't believe you require anything else.
Oh, you can leave.
Thank
You
you.
can go.
Thank you. Administrative report, Mr. Bodnar.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Chief. The first item that I have for the board's consideration is a donation that was provided by the Lewis Center Polaris Rotary Club. They disbanded and they wanted to provide us with a LED projector, which is a really nice piece of equipment. It's far better than the one that we currently use.
I make a motion to accept the gift donation of a digital LED projector from the Lewis Center Polaris Rotary Club.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
And Mr. Bonar, if you want to guide us through the old business items, I believe.
Well, the next items under old business are the first item is a resolution, and this will be levying the ballot issue for the parks and recreational purposes. This was sent to the auditor's office and certified by the township fiscal officer. The certification came back. Mr. McCarthy provided the research upon the ballot language and the format for what is required by the Board of Elections. Mr. McCarthy shared that with the Board of Elections to provide us a safe haven in moving forward. That's all I have on that.
All right. Whereas the board approved the following resolution declaring the necessity to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation, resolution number 19-230, approved June 17th, 2019. And whereas Delaware County Auditor has certified the following information to the board. 1, total current tax valuation of the township is as follows. $1,374,000, or what billion, I'm sorry.
Respect here.
$1,374,083,950. The number of mills required to generate the specified amount of revenue is, that was 1. Then it looks like we go to 2's not applicable, 3.
2 or 3. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by a specified number of mills. Specified number of mills is 1. Dollar amount of revenue generated is $1,208,846. Now therefore be it resolved by the board, at least 2/3 of all members of the board occurring as follows. 1. The board shall proceed with the submission of the question, the tax to the electors. 2. The rate of the tax levy expressed in mills for each $1 in tax valuation as estimated by the auditor is as follows. A. 1 mill. B. This rate amounts to the following for each $100 of tax valuation. That's 10 mil?
10 cents.
10 cents? 10 cents. If the levy is a renewal levy or replacement levy, this rate is the same as the existing tax levy. 3. Pursuant to RC 5705.03B1, the purpose of the tax is as follows. For parks and recreational purposes, the type of levy is as follows. Renewal levy. And C. The sections of the revised code authorizing submission of the question of the tax are RC 5705.03, 5705.191, and 5705.25, and the following RC 5705.19H. The term of the tax is as follows, 3 years. The territory where the tax is to be levied is as follows on the entire territory of the township. F, the date of the election after which the question of the tax shall appear on the ballot is as follows, November 5th, 2018. The territory where the ballot measure is to be submitted is as follows on the entire territory of the township. The tax will be first levied and collected as follows. The tax year in which the tax will be first levied is 2019. The calendar year in which the tax will first be collected is 2020. The township has territory in Delaware County and each of the following listed counties, Delaware County only. The fiscal officer is hereby directed to certify the levy to the Board of Elections, Delaware County, Ohio. Certification shall include copies of all the following documents. Resolution of necessity, resolution number 19-230, adopted on June 17, 2019, and certification of the auditor and resolution to proceed. Certification shall occur no later than 4 p.m. on August 7, 2019. Fiscal officer shall also notify the DOE to cause notice of the election on the question of levying the tax to be given as required by law. The DOE is hereby directed to submit substantially the following question to the electors at the election. Question. Do I need to read? Okay. Official questions and issues on the ballot. for the general election, November 5th, 2019. Proposed tax levy renewal, Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio. Majority affirmative vote is necessary for passage. A renewal of a tax for the benefit of Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, for the purpose of parks and recreational purposes at a rate not exceeding 1 mils for each $1 evaluation, which amounts to 10 cents for each $100 evaluation, for 3 years commencing in 2019, first due in the calendar year 2020. All formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of the board. All deliberations of this board and any of its committees that result in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including RC 121.22. This resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon adoption.
Second.
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
And Mr. Chairman, just for the board's information, that form had been submitted to the Director of the Board of Elections and Counsel for the Board of Elections, and was approved by vote.
Can I do this again?
Yeah, but this one's for roads.
Whereas the board approved the following resolution declaring the necessity to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation. Resolution number 19-231 was approved June 17, 2019. And whereas the Delaware County Auditor has certified the following information to the board. The total current tax valuation of the township is as follows: $1,374,083,950. The number of bills required to generate a specified amount of revenue is 1, 2, it's not applicable. 3, the dollar amount of revenue that will be generated by a specified number of mills is 0.5 mils. Dollar amount of revenue generated, $631,003. Now therefore be it resolved by the board, at least 2/3 of all members of the board concurring as follows. The board shall proceed with the submission of the question of the tax to the electors. The rate of the tax levy expressed in mils for each $1 in tax valuation as estimated by the auditor is as follows: 5 mils. 0.5 mils. This rate amounts to the following for each $100 of tax evaluation, 5 cents. If the levy is a renewal levy or a replacement levy, this rate is the same as the existing tax levy. 3, pursuant to RC 5705.03B1, A, the purpose of the tax is as follows: for the general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, and repair of streets, roads, and bridges. B, the type of levy is as follows: renewal levy, 0 increase, 0 decrease. C, the sections of the revised code authorizing submission of the question of the tax are RC 5705.03, 5705.191, and 5705.25, and the following RC 5705.19G. D, the term of the tax is as follows: in years, 3 years. The territory where the tax is to be levied is as follows: the entire territory of the township. F, the date of the election. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
The date of the election of which the question of the tax shall appear on the ballot is as follows: November 5th, 2019. The territory where the ballot measure is to be submitted is as follows: on the entire territory of the township. H, the tax be first levied and collected as follows: the tax year which the tax will first be levied is 2018. The calendar year which the tax will be first collected is 2020. I, the township has territory in Delaware County in each of the following listed counties, Delaware County only. 4, the fiscal officer is hereby directed to certify the levy to the Board of Elections, Delaware County, Ohio. Certification shall include copies of all the following documents: A, resolution of necessity, resolution number 19-231, adopted on June 17, 2019, and B, certification of the auditor. C, resolution to proceed. Certification shall occur no later than 4 p.m. on August 7, 2019. The fiscal officer shall notify the BOE to cause notice of the election on the question of levying the tax to be given as required by law. The BOE is hereby directed to submit substantially the following questions to the electors at the election. Proposed tax levy is renewal to Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, November 5th, 2019. The general election, majority affirmative vote is necessary for passage.
Did you go?
Here's a different line.
Next page, Mr. Chairman.
I think.
Oh, there's a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So renewal of a tax for the benefits of Orange Township, Delaware County, Ohio, for the purpose of general construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, repair of streets, roads, and bridges at a rate not exceeding 0.5 mils for each $1 evaluation, which amounts to 5 cents for each $100 evaluation, for 3 years commencing in 2019, first due in calendar year 2020. 6, all formal actions of this board concerning or relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of the board, and all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including RC 121.22. 7, this resolution shall be in full force and effective immediately upon adoption.
Second?
Mr. Rivers?
Yes.
Ms. Knapp?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, members of the board. That's greatly appreciated by all parties in the township. The next item for discussion is the selection process for the design services for the Veterans Memorial Project. As you know, there was a request for qualifications of services, request for qualifications from the masses that sent out our listserv through our website to the local newspaper, and the township received 2 respondents. The respondents were vetted by the committee. We received 5 responses back on those. And before I go further on that, we received a letter or a communication from one of the submitters yesterday, July 14th, that shared they were withdrawing from the process. And it was due to some photos that were included that they thought were not in their best interest to serve. Excuse me, the legal counsel's interrupting me.
I'm sorry, I need to.
No, we did have 2. The was reviewed by 5.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Counsel.
Sorry,
No, I
sorry,
thought, I thought he said
Administrator.
5. I thought he said 5
I
also.
wanna go there.
I apologize.
That's right.
I have said 5. I apologize. We only received 2. We received a letter of withdrawal yesterday, so that left us with 1. Now, the reason I didn't share this prior is the one that remains standing was the recipient of the highest scoring in the ranking system that we incorporated by the 5 people that did the ranking. That entity, that firm received 97.4 votes or points total. The other one received 83, which is a moot point. What I'd like the board to consider is passing this resolution that was crafted by Mr. McCarthy upon receipt of the letter to withdraw. Since that's an atypical scenario, we thought it best for him to craft that resolution so that we had our I's dotted and our T's crossed.
So, Mr. Rivers, did you evaluate these firms?
Well, I had some questions, and then one dropped out, so there really wasn't much to evaluate because we were left with one option.
And they dropped out today, is that correct?
Yes.
So you were gonna wait till today to complete your evaluation
Well,
for
no, I
this
went through my evaluations and was getting ready to swim today, and I got notice
in
that
advance?
one had dropped, so that made
That's very
easy.
convenient. So I actually, because I am very detail oriented, I went through both, I spent quite a long time going through both of these booklets, and I realized that the Garmin Miller Architects, that they had some memorial projects in here. That was 25 points of the 100 was their experience with memorial projects. And when I looked at the examples they provided, I noticed that they were very poor quality renderings of, I couldn't even make heads or tails of it. They included Hilliard Station Park, First Responders Park, and Flint Cemetery Memorial. There's absolutely no pictures in here to show they've done anything. So I don't know why anyone would select them, given that. So I actually went online and researched who I wanted to look these up, and I looked up the photos of the various entities and the various parks. And what I saw is that they were actually not done by GMAE Architects. They were done by a completely different firm. So yeah, so it just didn't make sense, because if you look at Corda's, they actually have photographs of all the projects. They're very nicely done, high quality, and this one just had renderings. So when I contacted GMAE when I contacted the company that had actually done the Hilliard Station Park and First Responders Park, I learned that it was actually their project and that these had been taken from their website by the GMA company. So they're pursuing legal action against them as we speak. So
I would venture to guess that led to their letter.
that went to the letter, exactly. So I'm disappointed because they would receive 25 points from anyone who thought that they had actually done memorials, which is very disappointing. And I believe I think everybody rated Corda number one except for Mr. Grumbles, who wanted to go with GMA. So I would like to propose that we hold off on this and send it out one more time because I don't feel comfortable with just this one firm. I like Corda a lot, but I'd like to send it out one more time and get some more responses. I'm very disappointed in this GMA firm as well.
If you agree with that, Mr. Rivers?
As far as other options out there, first time did we get much of a response? There received the two.
Sadly.
Well, and it's a very important project in the township, and that's why I took it so seriously and actually reviewed it carefully. So I think it deserves a little bit more. And I know some other firms are interested. In fact, the firm that I contacted, OHM, that I discussed their project, they had not even heard of it. They had not. I don't know where they're getting their information, but this is what I hear time and time again, that they're not aware. So
If we want to put it out, there's other parties that we think might be interested.
yeah, I think it's an important project.
Sounds good. It shall be so. Excuse me. The next item we have is the renovations to the Township Hall. Earlier today, or actually later today, earlier this evening, I received correspondence from Triad. I placed a design packet at everyone's seat. This is a draft design. I don't know how much time you wish to spend on it before looking at it, maybe drilling down on your own. But page 2 shows a top view of the schematic and conceptual plan with the mechanical area coming first, which would be that would be the east side of the garage, and then moving to adding 2 offices to the hallway. Those spaces between the offices and the mechanical room can be augmented or changed. You'll see there's 6 or so squares within that mechanical area. Those are bollards that were placed there to keep vehicles from running into the electrical units that are on the wall there. They can be removed, and there is a requirement to be so far away from those things, but that area could also be used for storage for cabinetry or file cabinets. As you see to the left at the top, it says vestibule. That's where you enter in, and that would be the changes to the office. You'll see the front area. There's a waiting area. There'll be a divider. That then leads into the reception with the door, the stairwell that goes down to the basement, and then the hallway with the offices and the kitchen. That's probably the best rendition that you can glean at short notice. On page 2 is just a front section of or actually a side cut version of the front of the office, not the front of the office, but will be the new front of the office, the vestibule, and then the reception area, the reception window with the door there. The height of that window, just so you know, is 34 inches, which is an ADA requirement. There was some talk of doing elevations to accommodate people that were standing and such. We think it's probably more practical to go with 34 inches. That's higher than most desks by about 6 inches. But that could be changed. All of this, again, is in draft form. Page number 4 is a side view, which will show you if it was cut down with the front of the township removed. You can see the reception area, the waiting room, and then the office and the mechanical area. So the garage would be turned into, at this point, a mechanical area and 2 offices. We did look at that wall. There's a wall right there in the reception area, and we thought that would be a perfect placement of the Orange Township logo on the wall, so that it has a big presence. When people walk in the door, they'll see that right across on that blank wall. On page 5 shows the 3 garage door areas, and you see the little man door to the left, which is currently in existence, and then there's 3 garage doors. Those 3 garage doors will be replaced with window systems. The third one, or the one towards the east or to the right, would be, we could talk about putting a door there if we wish to allow for outside entranceway into that mechanical area, or if we want to have it just enclosed and have access through the interior of the building, which if somebody was in there, we would want to know about it. So it'd probably be wiser to do that. Page 6 shows the new office space, the hallway, again, another side view, cross section of the new office area. Page 7 is just a shot of the mechanical area. If you notice, there's a change in elevation. The garage floors slope to the east so that water runs into a drain, a channel drain, which runs the length of the garage doors. That flooring will have to be leveled up. Those drains will still stay there, but there would be no need for them because there will no longer be vehicles parked there. And it will change the flooring, which would be good, but it would also allow for cables to go underneath that flooring because it would be, accessible to lay cable rather than have that outside of the flooring, which is good. Page 8 is a nice, again, a top view, which shows the plan for a temporary office. When we looked at this initially, we had to obviously maintain business during business hours. And so, how can you work in your front office and maintain business? So we looked at coming up with a plan or a conceptual plan that starts the garage reconstruction initially, then reaches a point and stops, and keeps the man door that currently exists there and allows for a temporary entrance to the township. It would be marked township offices, and people would go there, and we would have the 2 reception individuals be housed there for a short period of time, only the amount of time it would take to renovate the office that we know as the current office area in totality. Then once that is renovated, they would switch to those working stations, and the area down in the garage would be completed. So it does look like it's a little staggered, but if you know what we're doing, if you take a look at this, you'll see that it isn't a huge amount of work. It's not a big job, and it should take a relatively short amount of time, probably 5 or 6 weeks at the most. Page 9 shows the temporary setup for the office area. To go up to and get into the building from that area, we would have to do a ramping system. This is a little bit over the top, I would have to say, with railings and everything, the way they've shown that. But I'd have to investigate that because there are stairs that step down into the garage area. So the garage area is actually lower than the current office area, so we would have to ramp up so that people could get from that office, the temporary office space, to the interior of the building should they need to go to zoning or go to another part of the building. Page 10 shows the garage doors, the existing garage doors. There's 3 of them, of course, and then the temporary door that would be placed there. Upon removal or upon completion of the project, the upstairs area, when the reception individuals would go back into the current office space, and now renovated office space, that door would be enclosed, and that would no longer allow for an access route within the building. And then the last page, page 11, shows the temporary reception area, which I don't know, looks a little bit again over the top for something that is only going to be a couple of weeks in actual use. They are currently working on the numbers for this project, and I should have those within the next few days. As soon as I get those, I'll share those with the board. Again, these plans just came today, this evening, and please take a look at them and make some notes. Funnel any questions to me, you can email me, call me, whatever works best for you, and we can get your answers, or everything's changeable at this point. The estimated cost was right around, and this is a rough estimate, so I'm hesitant to share any, but I will because of the fact, it was around the $200,000 mark for this project to raise the garage and build new in that same location, or in another location would be another $100,000 at least on top of that. So that kind of gives you an idea. And again, those are rough figures at this point at best. I will have better figures for you as I receive those. So I don't know if you have any questions at the moment.
I'm fine with it. What are you asking us? I mean, this has been a long time coming, and the employees are, not only don't feel they're safe, I also don't, I feel their working environment is very low quality in that one, in the reception area. So I'm eager to get this started.
Excellent. What I'd like to do is ask a few questions of the architect for some of the temporary situations that they have proposed for the temporary workstation area. Develop a little bit more information, bring back to the board costs and any questions that happen to arise intermittently, and we can certainly move forward on it at the next meeting with the board wishes.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Certainly. The last item I have under old business is regarding the Records Commission meeting. Though the information is still pending review by the Ohio History Connection Center, I haven't received information back from them as of yet. So I've asked that that continue to be tabled.
Okay.
Thank you, members of the board. Appreciate your listening.
Thank you. Trustee Knapp, I believe you had a
Yeah,
question about bank records?
I'm gonna hold off until Trustee Trino is here, actually, now that I think about it, the next meeting.
Would that be tabled, Trustee?
Yes, please.
All right. I believe that covers everything on tonight's agenda. This meeting's adjourned.